We will see if the 27 is going to be able to run off and away like he did on the last one. Pace car down. Walker Price trying to get up on the loud pedal with the 27. And another great jump for Ashton Crowder. He'll take the green flag and pull already 3 to 4 truck lengths before we get to the corner. Battle for second may be to Jamie Walker for the second time tonight. Can the driver for the outside of the front row hang on? Price is digging on the inside. It'll be tight at a turn 2, just shy of clearing him.
Look at the 3 wide behind them, though. Formosa, Bennett, and Ralph van der Voort, they're going 3 wides in the turns number 2, and it's not going to work for the 2 bottom guys. Back up front, though, it's still 2x2 for the first 5 positions, except for the lead. And it looks like Walker, he's going to actually prevail from that second starting position on the grid here from the restart. And look at the number 4 of Gillenwater. He gets blocked out of the position from Shane Hawthorne right there at turns number 1.
I'll tell you what, that's one way to make a pass. Force him out of the way, and now more contact. The 78 and the 11. Hawthorne getting into it at a corner number 2 as he forced his way to the outside of Steve Price Jr., who's been able to find the spot in line, and now Michael Warren all the way on the inside, trying to do something. Problems with the 80. Formosa into the fence. Big bobble, but he hangs on.
That was an amazing save by the 80 of Scott Formosa. He's going to lose a lot of positions on that one. Still staying in the top 10. But yeah, definitely a humongous bobble. That's going to give him just a few positions back. He's had a good day. He's up 10 positions from the start. But wow, what a big save that was. And look at the guys in front of him. They're going side by side, trying to go to the bottom. It's the number 28 of Michael Warren. And he's up from 28th to 7th. Biggest mover right now. He's going to lose another spot actually right now.
Yeah, dropping it back 1 because the Aaron Bennett entry has been able to get a spot on him. Bennett and Simley, actually. So that 3 machine trying to get up into this picture. Bennett started up P4, but has fallen off since then, trying to make his way back to the front of the field. We run with 18 trucks scored on the lead lap, and once again, a good battle is about 1.5 seconds off of the race lead. Jamie Walker all alone in P2. He's a second behind Ashton Crowder, who has really started to pick it up late, but a caution to flag once again.
Spinner through the grass, it looks like. It's going to be, you're going to see Ralph van der Voort.
80 is Scott Formosa, turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, and then you have some guys spinning out in the front straightaway too, so a little bit of problems behind. And yeah, Formosa's going to have another issue and have almost collect some other drivers. Looks like one driver spun out coming out of 4 as well, and that was George Hendricks. But really, only damage looks like it's going to be the 80.
Yeah, Vorst, interestingly enough, I thought that he had gotten clipped, but that was a self-spin for the 66 machine. He's lucky he didn't get nailed when he came up back on the racetrack, but where all of this started was with Scott Formosa, who got into the fence a little bit, lost a lot of speed, and just got clipped on the way by looks like the 66 of Vorst. So it all ties together in some way. Maybe the contact damaged Vorst's machine, but Formosa spun, snapped back up the hill, and he actually clipped the 34 of Hendricks, who I thought was that driver down into the grass. So all of that does go back to Formosa, but a couple of trucks losing it out of 4.
Yeah, you definitely said it. Cautions breed cautions, and these drivers towards the back, they're really trying to fight for everything they've got, and whenever they see an opening, they're going to go for it. And I think that's the big thing here at this track is when you see an opportunity, you almost have to go for it if you want to advance your position. And that's really what these drivers are forced to do right now. And it's making for some close racing. Pit road battle is about to start. Ashton Crowder bringing them down.
Yep, drivers back down once again, and they have been hitting 4 tires every single trip down to the pit lane for the bulk of the night. Let's see what Walker can do, though. He has the number 1 pit stall, and he is right on the back of Ashton Crowder. Do they mix it up as they come into the boxes? Crowder in, Walker in. Keep an eye on these guys looking for 4 tires. 17 going to pull deep into the box. Right side's going to go up on both of them. Again, waiting 4 tires and fuel. Not necessarily needing additional fuel to make it to the end of this thing, but just to complete service. Here comes the race off of pit road. Walker going to try to dig. He can't do it. Great pit stop by Crowder to maintain.
Yeah, I think Michael Warren may have taken 2 tires here, and we're going to get a confirmation on that. Yeah, he only had the right sides jacked up. Yeah, right side's only jacked up on the 28 machine, so this is going to stir up a little bit more for these front guys if he does not come back down pit road to get those other 2 tires on the other side of that machine. So a little bit of a twist to this one here right now.
Yeah, why not? He was running in 15th position. This is the kind of move that I was waiting for. And actually, he was running in 9th position. Scoring got a little bit mixed up because he was way back in pit stall number 28. So he pitted before the start finish line. But we just saw that 28 machine coupe on the inside digging. So he obviously feels like he's got a fast truck. I'm not sure if it's fast enough to go head-to-head with the Ashton Crowder we've been seeing the last 25 laps, and to do it with 2 left side tires shorter than everybody else behind you, but why not?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you still have a long race to go, and I think all these drivers still have to come down one more time. So if you can at least get a little bit of an advantage here, get a couple laps on his belt. He may not be able to hold the lead from Crowder because he's been so good, and he may not even be able to hold on to second. But if he can at least pull away from these guys behind him, the big pack, and maybe just kind of slowly move back into where he was, or you know, maybe try and split this in half and pit like the rest of these guys are probably going to do, then I think it's going to be a big plus. Or if a caution, another caution comes out, you know, we've seen a lot of them here clumped together. We might see another one before it's all over, and then he'd be in a really good position to come down pit road again.
18 trucks going to be sworn on the lead lap. No change from earlier when we took a look at a midway race break. The only drivers off of the lead lap were 32 or more laps down. Only drivers off of the lead lap now are 10 or more laps down. Since that halfway point, Dwayne Dunn has gone behind the wall. Justin Michael has parked it on the pit lane. And Michael Atkins Jr. also has taken that car behind the wall. So if you're on the racetrack, you've got a shot at this thing. Not necessarily a speedway where you're looking at a big one and maybe swooping through from outside the top 15, but don't give up on it. As the lights go out on top of the pace car, restart just on the door of what I think is going to be about 37 laps to go in this race. Michael Warren in the 28 is in a big spot here because even if we kind of count him out, and I know that's fair, not fair, Coop, because I want to see what the 28 can do, but outside of him, let's talk about the guys behind him. He's going to be holding up the 17, you would think, although depends on how good of a restart the 28 gets. The 17 of Jamie Walker is going to have to find some way to turn this into a positive. I think, though, he might get stuck behind the 28. I wouldn't be shocked if we go 3 wide to turn 1, considering how big that apron is after the start-finish line.
Yeah, we saw it last weekend in the Monster Energy Series, and we're probably going to see it tonight as well. There's a lot of room going into turns number 1 on these restarts, and if you can just get a good restart, you might be able to get around some of these guys. And Michael Warren, we haven't seen him up front a whole lot, so we don't know exactly what he's going to do. He may be able to get the surprise or the jump on these guys, maybe go early. Only time will tell, and only a few hundred feet will really tell the distance between where Michael Warren goes.
Could this be for the final time? As the pace car ducks down to the way. First time tonight, it's Michael Warren in control. Green flag flies, and that was not the start that 17 of Jamie Walker needed. He'll be third to quarter number 1, but Crowder's going to have to find a way by the 28. Looks like he's fast enough to do it on the inside. Yes, sir. Short-lived P2 stint. Crowder back to the race lead, and this is holding up Jamie Walker in a battle for second.
Yeah, but the 28's not doing so bad. He's only in second. I would expect maybe a little bit more loss on that truck, but he's still holding up the 17 just a little bit, making him stay on the inside. And looks at the 94. He's going to try and duck to the inside here as well as we go on, but he's still side by side with them. He's really holding him up, and is going to, you know, track positions are really important with these guys and with these trucks at this track. And that 28's still going. He may even get sucked out to the 17 out of turn number 2.
Yeah, the 28's not that much off, but he is off, I think, and that's the only way that Walker was able to pass him. If the 28 was even with Jamie Walker, there's no way the 17 would have got him on the bottom, especially with the damage he has. It's not a great distance, but you could see that 3 or 4 car length distance that 17 just pulled on him that lap. That's about, I think, the difference between those two drivers, but it might be too little too late, because sure, Walker's in the clean air. He's back up on the outside, and he can start digging, but 0.8 of a second is a lot of time to make up on your own. I want to see what the likes of Terrell, Price, and Gillenwater do with Warren, although the 28 kind of in his own little bubble right now. Terrell's got his hands full with the guys behind him.
Yeah, I've been watching these guys for the better half of this green flag run, and they've just been nose to tail, but some of these guys have been really trying to peek out just a little bit, maybe force them to go down and try and block them for the first initial run, and then come back up to the top, almost like you would see the super speedway. We've kind of compared this a couple times already to a super speedway race, but when you get a run on somebody, you maybe want to go to the inside, and if they block you, then make a cut, a really fast cut to the outside. And I've been seeing a lot of these guys just kind of poke their heads out to the left all race long, and whenever they actually bite, it's kind of like fishing, and you just have to wait for that bite, and then you go for it, and hopefully it doesn't come up, the driver doesn't come back up into you like we saw earlier on in the race with the 55 of Michael Warren.
One thing that's interesting to note, that the highest running championship driver on track right now is Gillen Water, who is running in the number 6 position. And something else that's interesting to note is that through this championship, you expect in the chase that we'll have to talk about the spoilers, the guys who are not in the championship that have to be a factor. But you would also think that the chase guys step it up a bit. And Scott Simley is a championship driver, so that does take away from it just a little bit. But the 2 winners that we've seen in this round, Simley, who is in the chase, but then also Michael Priester, came in home and took the win just 1 week ago. Those 2 drivers